Hey guys, welcome to the Breakup Diet. We've got such an exciting guest. Welcome to the pod, Sabrina Kisseih.
Oh, she used the new name. I love
The new
it.
surname.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
Oh my god, so Sabrina is a travel influencer, content creator. She is like the ultimate girl's girl. She really helped me with my divorce. Like, you were really there through the hits of the marriage. You saw it all. You saw me, like, you helped me come out on the other side. And shortly after my breakup, you went through a breakup.
I did, yeah. Quite a hefty breakup as well.
Were there any like similar things so that you guys could like relate to each other even more, or were they completely different?
Well, you talk about your exes in a very respectful way. I do not.
Yes, that's true.
That just shows the kind of breakups we've kind of had. But
yeah. However, my breakup, so what would I have been, like 36? It was just before my 36th birthday. And my mum had died like a week before. And he broke up with me. So let's hear it for the man of the year.
Let's switch it up. We've been holding back way too much. Welcome to the Breakup Diet.
But in his defense, I think the fact I don't have any other parents. So I think the fact that my mum had died and I was like on my own scared him. And then he realized like, I'm not quite ready for what she's ready for. I think a lot of, I say men, but in this case, probably boys. I think a lot of them think they know what they want in a relationship. And then something happens where they get jarred into a state of reality and they think, oh my gosh, I'm not actually ready for that. Which, do you know what? It's fair enough. Like, obviously it was brutal, but everyone is allowed to have their little breakdowns. And unfortunately it was at my expense, but all worked out in the end. Yeah. So no worries.
how did you grieve the death of your mother and a death of a relationship? Like,
yeah, it was tricky.
He was meant to be a person to support you.
Do you know what was crazy though? In that relationship, I never relied on him emotionally. I came out of a relationship where the ex-person was my rock. So I was used to having that emotional stability. So when I went into my next relationship, to be honest with you, it was kind of like a COVID situation. Like, we fell in love. He was cute. He was beautiful. And I never really had him as my rock. All my girlfriends were. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really need his support in the grieving process. What messed me up was not only had I lost my mum, I'd lost my life, my future plans. Like, we were having talks about getting married and having kids. I was, nearly 36. And that's kind of an age where most people would get a bit scared about that. So yeah, it didn't get in the way of grieving my mummy because I had my friends for that. But it did definitely, it was something. Like, I really, my whole life, was from scratch once again.
I didn't depend on my ex for anything, I don't think. And then the one time I kind of switched to depend on him, I just needed a hug, nothing else. I literally said, I just need a hug. And then that's when he dumped me.
It's mad, isn't it?
I was like...
Yeah, it's crazy. Did you know though, because I went into that relationship knowing what I was doing. I knew, even though I thought we were going to get married and have kids and whatever, I knew in my mind, right, you're never going to be that person for me, which saying that out loud sounds crazy. But I think in my mind, I was like, okay, cool. I don't need a man. I'll take this cute little beautiful thing that's wonderful in every other aspect. He was a lovely guy, but I never thought I would rely on him for anything. Did you know that in your relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, we all know, right? Yeah. We know what we're doing.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to rely on him for certain things. But I think I was tricking myself maybe. I wanted to too.
Yeah, and I don't need him to be that person for me. But it's well, you kind of do.
Yeah, I think everyone needs someone that they can rely on and be
there. You
want
want your partner to be there for relying.
Yeah.
Even if you are a strong, independent woman, you do need it's nice to have somebody to be your teammate.
Yeah. And what's crazy is when you go into a new relationship and you find your teammate, you will look back, I can promise you this, and think, why did I think it was acceptable to not have that in my previous relationship? Because I still don't talk bad about it. I had a great relationship, but knowing what I was lacking now in what I have in my current relationship and marriage, it's absolutely wild to me that I would think that I didn't need that before. I think I just got so fixated on I'm enough, my friends have me, but unfortunately your friends will not have you for life. And that's not a nasty thing to say. My friends are my everything, but friends go through their own battles. Mm-hmm. They'll have kids, they'll get married. Every single one of my friends that has got married and had kids, they speak to me less. My reach out is just the same, theirs is less. And that is normal and it's natural. So I think if ever, I mean, I'm married now, but if I were to give anyone advice coming out of that style of relationship, it's so wonderful to be independent, but you are going to need that rock because your girlfriends won't be there forever, sadly.
And it's different from a friendship. You're so right.
Yeah. And I feel like friends sometimes, depending on your friendships, but they don't necessarily call you out that much because it's not really their place. Like, we'll just kind of laugh it off. Whereas a true partner will call you out on things.
They'll hold
to
you
better
accountable.
your life.
Yeah.
I mean, I do call out quite a bit.
As do I, but a lot of people won't.
Oh, you definitely do. You definitely
I do with you because you need it. I will assess the situation. You need it.
Ilma normally calls me out too, so like I feel like it's good to hear that you call her out.
Yeah.
No, but genuinely with like handling breakups, everything that I've learned, everything that I preach here is literally you word for word. Like the fact that you were like, oh, your life's not going to be over. That is a big thing we preach about here. The fact that you're going to find your person, the fact that you're going to find your passion, that is such a huge thing that we preach here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also hard when you are going through a breakup. So obviously, like, I'm going through one now. Like, it's hard because I also don't have another experience as somebody else because he was my first boyfriend. Be like, oh, it's fine because somebody else will come that's better because I don't have any other... Like, I've never gone through that experience of finding somebody better yet. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. However, I feel like there's a bit of a risk in saying finding someone better because...
For me.
For you, yeah. Well, especially now I know that your relationship wasn't that solid. But even for people who have broken up with someone that they genuinely thought they were in the best relationship ever, you know, they thought they were their rock and their world comes crashing down. Like we find this a lot when, you know, one party cheats and it's completely like out of the blue and you have to break up with them for, you know, your own sort of sense of self. I think people like that, it's much more difficult to think like, will I find anyone else better? Like if you had something not quite there in your relationship, it's easier because you think, okay, that was missing. But there are people that go through a breakup with the best person on the planet ever. I've also been through a breakup like that where I could not fault that man. Like he was my everything. Like I've never said a bad word about him. We barely had an argument, but our timelines just didn't align. And I feel like a lot of the time with relationships, it feels like the world is crashing down. But really, it's a gift. It's an opportunity at any point. And you will go through the ups and downs, but that is all, you know, for the plot, as we say nowadays. But also like, it might not be that you find somebody better, but you'll find somebody that you will work together and create that beautiful relationship, and you'll find out new things about yourself and you'll think, oh, maybe actually like I wasn't my best self when I was with them. Yeah. So it's not just an opportunity to find somebody better. It's an opportunity for you to find what better is as a whole. Does that make sense?
Oh,
like you can become better.
That's really inspiring.
Yeah, I was not my best self in my previous relationship. Like I feel a much better person like now in my current one.
The fact that you were able to start over is so inspiring, and the fact that you still found the person for you. Because sometimes I still think like, oh, like, even though my ex-husband wasn't my person, we all know that, I just do think like, is he ever out there? Oh
my gosh, yes.
I think that too. Like, and I've only had one
There's
boyfriend.
So many people out there. Someone's gonna work, you know? Of course.
Yeah, and how did you just kind of drop your guard when you found your person? Because that's what I'm struggling with. I'm very like icebox.
I think that is just a personality trait in general. Okay. I love. And I've had really good relationships. You know, with everything I do in life, I'm quite a positive, passionate person. So I feel like that's how... If I go through a breakup, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, like I get to do this all again. It's the best bit, like meeting them, falling in love with them, like the awkwardness of like seeing each other in different, you know, situations, meeting their friends, meeting their family. Like I just always put a positive outlook on that. It's like that saying of always assume the best is going to happen until the worst does. Or
oh my God, I love that. Okay, yeah. I needed to hear that.
Yeah, that's so nice. Like, and also that is true. It's so cute when you first start dating somebody and you're like, you even, for example, this is just me, but like your legs will like, or your arms will graze and you're like, oh my God.
Arm graze is next level. That your heart goes.
Yeah,
right?
You're like, oh, is he thinking the same thing?
Yeah.
And that's so fun. So you get to have that again. Like, Heartbreak is heartbreak. I'm never going to come on and be like, oh, you know, don't be sad. And it's not shit. It is. It 1000% is. But so many things are shit in life, sadly. I mean, look at the state of the world, you know, but there is also still that hope and that beauty. And one of the best things is falling in love for the first time again. And you discover just so much about yourself and them. And it's a gift. That sounds so corny, but it kind of is.
It is. It's such a short life that we live, and for us to be able to restart that a few times, because think about our grandparents' generation. They weren't able to find love all over again like the way we do. If they were divorced, that's it. They're like cussed out of society.
Yeah.
And look at us, like able to meet new people, and no one's judging us for our past. No one's stigmatizing for the fact that you and I are both divorced.
Yeah.
Like, with the whole divorce thing, you were my only friend who's been through it, and you were the only friend who was excited for my future.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I could feel that they were scared of me, and I could feel like, oh, like I wouldn't want to be in her shoes.
I can tell you why though, because you didn't own it. You were your own worst enemy in the divorce. My divorce was heartbreaking. I did not want it to happen. Ours was, as I said, a timeline thing. Like, he was ready for babies far before I was. It was heartbreaking. But I'd been through that, and I hadn't really come out the other end, but I saw, like, you know, life unfortunately is not black and white. There's a lot of grey areas, and, you know, from that grey flowers may bloom type vibes. You knew that you were in a bad relationship.
I had so much shame. I was carrying so much shame of like having a broken relationship or having a divorce, or the fact that it just wasn't perfect, or the fact that I had this sense of idea that society's mean to single women. It's like better to have that social status of being married, being with someone, just so I seem normal. Just so
crazy.
Which is crazy because he was not a prize.
I think the opposite. I think women are far kinder to you when you're single. I think more women want to be your friends. I think people see you as like more fun when you're single. Like, when you're married, people all of a sudden stop inviting you to certain things, which is crazy because you haven't changed as a person. So I personally disagree. But
I've learned that now, obviously.
Yeah.
But back then, the shame ate me up.
And the need to have the big flamboyant wedding.
Yeah, because I got married just before COVID, so I never got to have that big white dress fairy tale wedding. I just had like a quick like Islamic wedding in my living room. Oh, sorry. TMI.
No, but this is good because when we were first talking about your divorce, you wanted to get married
and then divorce
and
after.
then get divorced because she didn't want to go through everything but not have the big party. And she was dead serious.
Hang on, let's stop this for a sec. Subscribe and follow the Breakup Diet. You don't want to miss another episode.
Struggling with shame was like honestly my biggest downfall, and I feel like I've only realized that after compartmentalizing my breakup. To people who are, I guess, on the cusp of a breakup or have gone through a breakup, how do we tell them to deal with shame?
It's personal. I think any emotion is personal. It's based on your background, your religious belief, the home that you grew up in. It is personal. However, we are living in a very different day and age. And do you know what's quite nice? And I know this isn't nice in terms of us seeing it, but we're seeing a lot of very famous people, whether they're day-to-day influencers, you know, 20 million followers, but still they're day to day. They're filming what they're eating for dinner, that kind of thing. You know, we're seeing them go through divorces or, you know, second, third divorces in some cases for these big stars. And I know it shouldn't be normalized because it's a sacred oath and all this kind of thing, but life changes, people's circumstances change. You know, there's so many things that you agree to with every being in your soul, and then it gets to a point where you think this actually isn't beneficial for me or my partner. People will be putting their partners through hell because they want to keep it together, you know, and it can be like that person is not at all fulfilled in their needs whatsoever. And I also think that there's this huge stigma of if you get divorced, you had a bad marriage.
Yes.
That gets on my grate so much because you can have the most beautiful relationship, and you see it in celebrities where they make this beautiful statement and everyone's like, oh, whatever, he cheated. And it's like, or they could actually mean what they're saying, and they grew up and they became different people and they wanted different things, and whatever the case may be. Like, I truly believe you can break up amicably. I believe that you can have had the best relationship ever, but it gets to a point in your life where you're both going on different paths. And like, I know marriage is about sacrifice, but is it really about like the big things, about children, about moving country? Somebody changes their religion, somebody, you know, their ideals change halfway through. You're going to put each other through that. That to me just doesn't make sense. I feel like owning it makes people respond to you so much differently. It makes people think you're, you know, there's a huge difference. And I don't think this is fair, but between somebody owning it, that, oh, you're so strong. Oh my gosh, you're starting over again. You're so strong. Whereas if you go in with a little bit, you know, more of a timid approach of like, oh, I don't know if should I leave him, should I not? Then people tend to be a little less like there for you, which is not right.
I felt so much pity from everyone else, but with you, you really like showed me so much light. And as soon as things kind of kicked off and, you know, we separated, I'm like, wait, Sabrina, I'm actually fine.
Yeah. I think it's age as well. Like we have a big age gap and I've been through and seen things and my friends have been through and seen things. And when you're younger, you know, even if you're in your late 20s, you're still young in terms of
you're
like,
so dumb in your late 20s still.
You're not dumb.
What if you're in your mid-20s?
Yeah.
Yes, you're stupid.
You're not dumb. You just haven't seen things. It's that whole black and white theory.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, I wouldn't even date someone that smoked. I wouldn't go, you know, near someone who had once posted that. Like everything is not black and white. And the older you get, you'll see so many people go through things. I know people that have been in relationships where the cheating has been next level and they are both aware of this cheating and they hold their head up high and they come to dinner parties and everyone, you know, not a blink of an eye. There's so many complexities in relationships that you see as people age in those relationships that you're just not, you don't see it when you're younger because people haven't got there in that relationship. I don't know if you get wiser, you just clock things easier.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
You see more and you're more empathetic because people you know and love have been through it. If you told me that one of my friends would be having an affair when I was 18, I'd be like, well, I can't be friends with them then. I can't be friends with someone who's having an affair when I was 18 because that to me is like, who would do that? Why would someone break up a family? You know, if you ask me now, there would be so much more of a complex questioning that went on by me, you know, and like you find yourself in scenarios that you just think, how am I here? How is this happening? But it's someone you love.
I saw something like the other day and it was like this girl talking about like life and everything. And she was like, what I didn't know in my early 20s is that you can have so many emotions, like opposite emotions at the same time and feel the same. Like, for example, right now, I'm obviously upset about my breakup, but like also, as you said, I actually had a good relationship. Yeah, I couldn't rely on him for emotional support and that sort of thing, but our actual time together was really nice. So I have a lot of love for him, but then I'm also really upset and like angry. So I have two massive emotions like at him right now at the same time. So it's like really hard to navigate.
Yeah.
You just want one emotion to win at a time. When it's like so many, it gets so conflicting and then you kind of start bargaining.
With yourself?
With the concept of the relationship being like, you know,
it's not that bad. Yeah. Maybe I can stay. Yeah, this is what people do even more so though. I don't think that gets better when you're older. In fact, it gets worse because people, they say the older you get, the less you put up with and like you're more on it. Every relationship I know, bar a few, is the opposite, where they've got to a point where they want kids, they want to get married, all their friends are married, and they put up with things that they absolutely would not have put up with in their 20s. They'd have been like, this guy's whatever, off I go, I've got time. Whereas when people get over the age of 35, this is very common, they start to settle. And I know I'm very glad for the TikTok social movement of like, girl, don't settle. And I love that we see so many women, myself included, who start completely over again at 35 and, you know, end up in such great scenarios. It's good for us to see that. But a lot of people didn't have that social media presence of, you know, don't settle. And therefore they are in relationships and they've been in them for a number of years because they were just desperate to have kids. Kids is just so tricky. Once you get to 35, if you think you're struggling with breakups now, when you get older and you want a family, it becomes tricky because then your brain's got a whole other emotion of like, okay, but would he be a good dad?
Gosh, breakups are already hard enough for me. I don't know. Please, just the next one, just don't let me have that again. I've had one, not again.
You don't want another breakup?
No, same. I'm like, 2 is enough. The next person I'm going to date is going to be the one.
That's putting a lot of pressure on you and the person you're about
That's
to
why
meet.
I'm not dating.
Okay, I don't condone any of this. I'm the opposite when I'm dating. Dating for me is the funnest thing ever, because I'm like, okay, what can I learn about myself, them? Like, it's so much fun. When you're dating with intention, I find that trickier when you're like looking for reasons to think they're a good guy, because again, when you're older, you're not looking for reasons not to like them, which you do in your 20s. You're like, no. When you're older, it's like, okay, well, he's not quite that handsome, but like, okay, he's got a really good job. And like, okay, well, he doesn't sound like he wants kids just yet, but like he's got a big family, so they're probably putting pressure. Your brain, again, not my personal brain, but this is the brain of like people 35 plus, it's how they work. It's, you're thinking a lot more than, is this guy nice?
I feel like that makes so much sense though, because obviously when your friends like go off and they're not around as much, wanting to hang so much, then you do want to find your person, because you're like, oh my God, like I don't want to just be sat alone all the time. Like,
yeah. And you start meeting someone that you've been dating for a few months, and you're even saying to your friends like, yeah, he's all right. No. But it happens. It's so wonderful when you meet someone and you love them so much, and like you just want to stitch yourself into them, and like, you know, like there's nothing like that feeling of just wanting to be like physically attached to your partner at all times.
Oh, love is so beautiful, and I can't wait to experience that again. I'm not ready just yet, but...
Yeah, me too. I'm not ready just yet.
No,
I can
that's
tell you
okay.
that much. But yes, me too. How do you not take like, the past stuff in? I think that would be
That's tricky.
You know, even if you had a nice relationship, it's still like
Sometimes that's worse, because then you're comparing.
Oh no, don't tell
Right?
me
Imagine
this.
having the perfect relationship and then you meet a guy and you're like, excuse me? This is not the treatment I'm used to.
Oh no.
Babe, what are you scared about? It's not like he gave you much. You guys were long distance.
Yeah, but like he was like nice.
You'll find nicer.
There's lots of nice. Yeah, nice is an easy one. There's a lot of nice guys. I feel like nice is a good benchmark. You'll be
Okay,
safe.
good. I just want someone nice, supportive, funny.
These are very easy standards to me.
But in terms of taking baggage from an ex-relationship, that's on you. And it doesn't ever get easier. In fact, again, I feel like it gets harder the older you get. I still have to give myself therapy. You know, I went to therapy for 10 years just to become who I am today in general. When something happens in my relationship and I'm like, hold up, is this him or is this you? And it's 9 times out of 10 me. But I will preach therapy until the cows come home. So
100%.
Short answer for that one, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah. And the guy to have gone to therapy as well. You notice instantly when your man's gone to therapy as well.
Oh, there's such a different level of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
We never had a fight, me and my ex. Because we both just knew how to communicate, because we were both very heavily therapized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Therapy is key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever dated somebody who's gone to therapy, to be fair.
Oh, then you're going to find your next partner will be 10 times better because he'll have gone to therapy.
I mean, I don't
It's
know.
still quite rare in men, I think. I don't think
Yeah.
it's common for guys to go to therapy now. It's expensive. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
it's that whole like nonsense of if he wanted to, he would. Like I personally, I don't really like that saying, just because I feel
Same,
like,
because there's so many things I want to do and I haven't done.
yeah. Or like that I would love, Ilma, to buy you a house because you're my
Babe,
friend and I love you.
same.
I love you so much. I've just
I would
offered
love to
you a
fly
house
you
with a
out
pool.
to Perth all the
Yeah.
time whenever I'm there.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Neither
But
can
I really
I.
want to.
Me too. And we still love each other.
Yeah.
And we're really good friends.
Yeah,
So,
that's such a toxic quote that if he wanted to, he would.
yeah. Yeah. Let's change it to something like, if he wanted to make you feel special, he would. Or something like that. Like
More specific.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
like, if he sees you, he sees you.
Yes.
Because I feel like there's so much pressure on men nowadays.
It's nice to have dates and being taken care of, but as a young guy, as like a grad, doing a grad job, how am I supposed to pay like £200 every week for a day and like still survive on like London expenses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is hard. Like I completely empathize with it, but equally I want them to pay.
Yeah, but you're looking for a certain type of guy as well. Paying's different. Listen, I am very much in the non 50-50 club. Trust
Okay,
me.
same.
Paying
But
for
I
things
also
is
equally
different.
empathize with like these young boys who
Well,
can't.
I empathize for them when you've got girls like, getting the 10,000 rose bouquet or
Oh
going
my
on
gosh,
private
yeah.
jets, or their boyfriend's constantly buying them Birkins and that kind of thing. paying for the date, no, that's for me, that's like no question. You know, I don't believe in 50-50 personally, unless one of you's earning substantially more money. That's a completely different situation, right? I still believe in like women being treated, but I mean the pressure of what we see of, you know, it's enough when we see other women with so much money and they're doing all of these wonderful things. But I know that kind of content can be damaging. And it's the same when you see a woman, you know, and their husband's like taking them to Hermes and spending all this money on them. And I've seen women like kind of like fall into themselves almost watching those TikToks because it's like, oh, you know, my boyfriend doesn't do that for me. And it's really, really sad.
It's pure brain rot. I have to click not interested. Anything that's like dating related, which is funny because we do talk about relationships and dating. I'm like, not interested. Because it's just so like, you need to get this, you have to expect this. If he's not doing that, I'm just like, I don't need to hear it. I don't need to compare anything to anyone.
And listen, like, want what's best for yourself, absolutely. And like, you know, if you have that man that's showering you with Hermes because that's his means, then fair enough. But also, like, if you meet this beautiful guy with a stable job that can take you to Venice for a weekend trip, that is still amazing. That is absolute. That is still like top 1%, you know, or buys you multiple flowers for your birthday or does something thoughtful. Like, that is still such high level in the grand scheme of how other relationships are. And I think it's so easy to forget that.
Yeah, or buys you flowers for Valentine's Day. That would be nice.
Oh, gosh. Do you see what I mean? When she's like, am I going to find someone nice? I'm like, if that's what your nice is, you will.
Yeah.
Your nice is...
bare minimum.
I'm going to hold back here because you're going through a breakup and I don't want to, you know, I'm not going to give you the full like Ilma spiel because,
oh
you know,
my God.
But
I got it.
Yeah. You can give it to me off camera.
Yeah, Ilma really got it. Bless her.
I really did, but I needed it. Like, you saved me. Like, if I didn't have you, I don't know how I would have navigated it.
My argument was more, why are you prolonging this? Because you'd already decided that you did not want to be with him anymore. And you were kind of like prolonging the process for reasons.
For literal social status, for religion, for culture.
Yeah, and more reasons. And there's going to be all of them when you're in a relationship. And for me, it was a case of why? I can't understand what's happening here. And then you were also, and this is hilarious to think of right now, you were also thinking like, I'm just, what were you, like 25 or something crazy? She was also saying to me like, oh, you know, I just don't think I'll meet anyone else because, you know, I'm older. Imagine saying this to me. I would have been like 34 at the time or whatever it was. Like, nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You didn't think you would find anyone.
It is true though, like when you go through a breakup, it is hard not to think like...
You really think like doom and gloom. Like it's all or nothing kind of thing. It's such a toxic way of thinking. But when you're in there, it's so hard not to.
Also, I tell you what it is, I think, is you're annoyed at yourself because you've given this person, I've been there in my last one, like 4 years of my life. I knew all along you weren't really like the one for me. Like, I still think we had a wonderful relationship and I do not regret it at all. But you know that you've put 4 years into it. So you're like, ugh, do I like just really like try and like trudge through this and like put more work into it? Or if they break up with you, then you're just like 4 years. Like it's very easy to just assume that like that was a waste of time. I say in air quotes, a waste of time. It never is, but it feels like that. And I feel like a lot of the time that's the kicker. When you first start dating someone, it's like, oh, you know, it's been 3 months and they might get better. Then you end up into like a longer time period. Then it's like, well, I've spent all this time now and they've got a bit better at this, this and this. So like, I'll keep going. And you kind of just have to, you know, again, therapy yourself and be like, okay, well, I learned that, you know, I can go to my friends for emotional support and you do learn things. It's an annoying, tricky, you know, expensive.
You really have to train your brain for it. It's hard work training your brain, but you got to commit to it. Because for me, when I went through all of that, at the end of it, I was like, there is no way I'm going to put myself through that. There is no way I'm going to settle like that ever again. Like,
but I don't think you know somebody until quite far in,
oh my
really.
Gosh,
so then, like, if I'm being, I don't fully feel like I knew my ex fully, like, because number one, we're long distance, we didn't never live together, you're not always around each other, so how could you? So then, like, even for these things to happen, you have to you have to be with them a long time.
Oh, for sure. And condensed time as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not my full self. I'll hold my hands up high. Like, I'm like queen for the first few months of the relationship. Like, lure them in, you know? Like, if they then fall in love with the crazy afterwards, great stuff. But no one's their full self the second they meet someone. Like,
you're putting your best foot forward, and you're like, you want them to like you do.
you've not had a tantrum about not finding an outfit yet. You know, they're not in your house when you can't find a Kirby grip. Like, that's a whole new person. Living together is massive. That's massive. And that's when you really, I think, and that's why I say to my friends, like, live with someone as soon as possible. I know other people disagree, but I'm like, move in with them ASAP. Work out if it's a thing.
Well.
When you're older, of course, not in your like early 20s.
No, but I actually
crazy.
agree with it. I don't think it's like, I think it's a massive thing, but I think it's the best thing to do if you want to know if this is actually going to work.
Yeah, and pay half rent at that point.
Oh,
You
I
want to
love
know
that.
that if something happens between you two, that place is
walk
just
out.
as much yours as theirs.
Yeah.
Let them treat you dinner, bills, all that kind of stuff. But if something goes wrong in that relationship, you don't want to be in a position where you're like, oh gosh, well now I need to move as well, because then you won't. You'll put up with all the other stuff. Whereas if you know that you've gone into that like half and half, you either get a roommate or you end the tenancy or whatever the case may be. But there's so much power in that first, like,
I'm telling
even
you,
if it's just a few
financial
months.
security is
Yeah.
so important for women to have. Like, never stop working, never stop chipping in. You know, you can approach it in a more equitable way and pay in proportion to each other's salary.
What a lovely sentence, Ilma. Yes, exactly. I fully agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe in equity more than equality. Like, I don't want to do 50-50. If he's earning blah, 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 I want to pay the 30%, he pays the 70%, if that's what the difference is.
Love that.
Yeah, I think that's fair too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that is way more fair.
I
Yeah.
think so too. Equity over everything.
Except when you're having a baby and then it's like, you're giving me money every month. Thank you, sir.
That's
Do you
what
know what I
he's
mean?
paying for a BBL.
Every contract will be slightly different.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I think that's a lovely way to put it as well.
Oh,
It's like,
Well done, Nilma.
thank you. I needed that pat
I feel
on the
like
back.
I'm like, it's like when the grasshopper becomes like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the teacher, and then you're like, well done.
Yes, it truly is. I'm telling you, like, everything I've learned from you, it's like seeping into the pod.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
like Sabrina's legacy.